Unemployment rate now, we're on a four-year high, 4.6%. Doug Flynn joins us from Flynn Capital Management, and it's Doug's birthday. Happy birthday to Doug. This is literally, we've been on the air for nearly 57 minutes. The first positive story we've had on the show. It's been just awful, just terrible stories, except for Doug's birthday. So happy birthday, my friend. And
well,
thanks
thank
for all
that. I
the
appreciate
all the help. You're on, what, usually 3 times a week, so you've been a big, huge part of the show. 39 again, I guess, or whatever it is. So,
always forever 39.
Yeah,
I'm hanging on.
Congrats. Now, so the job, what did you take away from the job stuff today? I was just talking to, earlier about this, my friend Tim Desher about it, and he had some thoughts of his own, but what are yours on what did we learn from this old data, if anything?
Yeah, I mean, we're catching up, obviously, but it's very lukewarm, and I think that's why it feels weak, because, you had some better than expected numbers, but you had some worse than expected numbers, and so you mix that all in, and it's just a mixed bag of the continuously getting weaker scenario that we've been accustomed to. It doesn't necessarily change. The next Fed meeting for interest rate cuts is in January. It didn't change necessarily the percentage that think it's going to be cut again, or the amount of cuts we're going to get next year. That expectation is 2 more quarter of a point drops at some point next year. So that hasn't changed, but I think it's just more to the point of that jobs are an issue. Inflation may or may not be, as it bounces around here and gradually gets lower. So that's the situation we're in, and so the market's digesting this and looking at AI and looking at other areas that maybe they want to invest right at the end of the year.
So. Right, that was going to be my next thing, end of year. It's interesting kind of always to look at a stock market at this time of year, but given this particular year, what we're dealing with and all those things, what would you generally say to people about how they should be thinking about, if they're saying, oh, I want to put some money to work in the market, is now the time? Do I wait a while? Like, how are you looking at the stock market?
Sure. Well, always when you're within a couple of percentage points of the all-time high, you have to be very careful dropping in a large lump sum of new money into the market. So you want to pick your spots. And if AI isn't going to have the same percentage increases that we've experienced the last couple of years, there might be some opportunities during sell-offs to pick some of that up. If you're not already overweighted there, this is a time to actually look at some other areas that really haven't done well. There are some stocks that are hitting some highs today, which you might not think would, which would be like some insurance companies and some other areas that aren't really the hot thing that everyone wants to talk about. So you need to look at those areas. Those are the things where you can make more money, I think, from here, because they haven't moved as much as some of the other ones.
And maybe, like I said earlier, Trump loses the tariff case and some of the companies get their money back, and that could help them too.
They would probably keep the majority of that. I don't think they'd be suddenly dishing refunds out to consumers. Okay. Although they could. That could be a good marketing ploy to kind of come back to them. They should. Whether or not they will, of course, then they'll claim they really never tacked them on in the first place is what will likely happen. But that means also that inflation maybe isn't going to be as high as we thought, because maybe the tariffs aren't as inflation, or they didn't have that much of an impact on inflation. So we'll see how that plays out with interest rates and everything.
Your birthday is playing very well at the corner of Wall and Broad down there. They're very, very happy about it. The Advertising Hall of Fame, congratulations on your induction there as well. Doug Flynn, market is over.